Good morning, everyone. Today is July 23rd, 2023, and this is the fifth talk on the Śurangama Sutra digest. And so we go to chapter 2 and finish the 10 aspects of the true mind. And then we continue to talk about the wondrous nature of the true suchness. And before we start, please join palms and we will recite the verse for beginning the sutra together. The unsurpassed, profound, and sublime Dharma is difficult to encounter even in a billion aeons. Today we see, hear, receive, and uphold it, vowing to fathom the true meaning of the Tathagata. Okay. So this is the content of the Śurangama Sutra, 10 chapters, and 3 main topics on samadhi, and the last topic is about the demonic state for what would happen to the practitioners. And so we finished chapter 1 and 2, and then today we will finish the chapter 2 and continue to chapter 3. Okay, so this is the 10 aspects of the true mind that we talked about previously. And then the last one is the seeing is beyond seeing. And so the following talk is continued by, again, Ananda's question regarding Buddha's answer. Ananda always has questions for Buddha because he never understand, what is the true meaning at the first time. But it's a good thing that Ananda asks questions for us so we can understand. We can know that we don't understand, and then we can follow the path of Ananda's question and help us understand more clearly. So Ananda continue, upon hearing Buddha explain the 10 aspects of the true mind, and then Ananda say to the Buddha, the Honor One, you have elucidated the teaching concerning causes and conditions, and concerning the existence of things in and of themselves. But we have not yet understood the teaching about combinable and uncombinable. And now, you further talk about the essence of visual awareness of which the true awareness is aware is not the same as the true awareness. This built another layer of confusion to me, okay? So Ananda get deluded even further when he heard about this. This is very important verse. Okay, in Chinese it's called 见见非见. Okay, and in English it's more clear. It's called the essence of visual awareness of which the true awareness is aware is not the same as the true awareness. It's very kind of not very direct. Okay, so I used the diagram to help me understand better and also to help you understand better. So we talk about the so-called the true nature of the visual awareness, which is in the yellow box. Okay, and this when we try to see something, then it will divide it. It will become 2 parts. One is subjective perceiver. The other is objective object. Okay, so through this mechanism, we think, okay, 此刻处可不可以讲话小声一点? Hello? Okay, so through this mechanism, and then we understand, and we think that we see something. Okay, now Buddha said that, sorry, the thing that you think you see is actually not a true seeing. Okay, so Buddha has previously explained that this process is actually does not exist by causes and conditions and does not exist by itself. This two part is already very hard to understand. Okay, but Buddha explained clearly. If you don't get it, you can go to my previous talks about Buddha's answer. Now, Ananda point out very important idea about combinable or non-combinable. And so Buddha said that what you don't understand now is so-called our true nature is not combinable and then not uncombinable. So we're combinable and non-combinable. And so Buddha need to explain this concept to them, because when in previous chapter, Buddha talked about that, when your true self nature can see the visual awareness, at that point, the visual awareness become the true nature of awareness. They combine, they become one, okay? And then the true self nature disappear. That, in other words, we are here deluded to try to see moon. When we see moon, we try to see moon. This is our eyes become the second moon. And when we actually see the real moon, that's when we step on the moon. We go to the moon and step on the moon. That's when we get to the moon. When we get to the moon, the bright circle moon disappear, because you are on the moon. The shape, the phenomena, or the idea of the circle yellowish moon disappear. That's when you see your true nature. Okay. So then the question comes, okay, before Buddha answer, and Ananda, I repeat again, Ananda's confusion is always on these 2 points. One is mistaken object as self. So we grasp the 4 elements as one's body and grasp the 6 consciousness as one's mind. Okay. And further, when you can let go, the object, to grasp object as yourself, then we further misunderstand self as object. Okay. We think the subjectivity part of the self is the object for you to see. Okay. So in other words, if I use the 4 aspects of consciousness, the model here, that means the center is called self-reflective nature. That, and when it's functioning, it can further divide it into the subjectivity part and objectivity part. And of course, from the theory or from the model, that there is called assurance of self-reflective nature, that we assure the existence of the self-reflective nature, that we can ignore that part. So when we talk about practice, when we talk about seeing the true nature, we always talk about this part, the self-reflective nature, that is without duality of subjectivity and objectivity. Okay, so the problem is, okay, when the self-reflective nature divided into subjectivity and objectivity, and Buddha said that this subjectivity and objectivity is actually our true nature. Now is when we are seeing here, when we are ordinary people here, we still use our subjectivity and objectivity to operate our daily life. And then Buddha said that we still with our true nature. Now the problem is, does this deluded mind and my true mind, how could they then put them together? How can I have my true mind and deluded mind at the same time? Do they get along with each other? How then, just like spouse, husband and wife, stay in the same house, peacefully. You do your job, she do her job. And, the question is, do they combine together? That's Ananda's confusion, is also our confusion. So this deluded mind and true mind combine together or uncombinable? Okay. So let's get back here, clarify it again. The true self nature is in the yellow box. Okay. When we aware of that we have seeing ability, the seeing ability is the second moon. We try to see the moon. Okay. And then when we try to see the moon, no matter what the moon we see is actually the reflection of the moon. That's called the third moon. Okay. Is the object that after the sixth consciousness discrimination. Okay. So we think we see the moon, but that moon is not the real moon. It's not even the second moon. It's the third moon that is the reflection of the real moon in our sixth consciousness. Now, okay. Question, Ananda. The question is, if the true nature of visual awareness is luminous and pure, why we have deluded subjective visual awareness now? It's pure and luminous. Why we are using our subjective visual awareness to see things right now? Okay. Buddha point out very important point here. The reason that we cannot see our self nature is because two karma. One is called a distorted awareness based on individual karma. The other is called the distorted awareness based on shared karma. Because of these two karma, we never give up the dual operation of subjectivity and objectivity. So that's why we never can, really return to our true nature. We always stuck, the green line under the green line, because we are trapped by the objects of the distorted awareness based on individual karma and the distorted awareness based on shared karma. Okay, what are these two? We have to understand. Okay. In general speaking, the distorted awareness based on individual karma is, every one of us has different karma, right? So when we perceive things, when we understand things, or when we comprehend things or objects, we have our own view. My view is different from your view, okay? And even my own self view now is different from my view when I was a child. And definitely my view will be different when I get old, right? So the time matter. The past, the present, the future, right? When you are a child, you think happiness is to have a whole cupcake. You don't need to share with your brothers and sisters. You can have your own cupcake. So happy. But right now, when you grow up, it's like, cupcake is nothing. I probably need a big house. When you get old, I cannot even eat cupcake because I have diabetes, right? Cupcake cannot make me miserable, okay? So depends on the time. Your view are different. And also your past life, your present life, and your future life. Some individual karma carry on. For example, some people born to like banana, But some people born to hate banana. Banana is good or not. Depends, right? The people have different response to this taste. So, based on the time, our individual karma manifests differently. And based on the place, okay, you are always the same you. But in the family, you are a good son and good daughter. But when you go to school, I'm sorry, your score is too bad. From teacher's eyes point of view, you are not very good students. Okay? And then, okay, now you very outstanding student in school. Does that mean 10 years later, you got a very good career, you work outstandingly in your workplace? You are good students from teacher's eye, but you may not be a good employee from boss point of view. Okay? Then you are very good salesman, you very good employee. Then you got promoted. You become a manager, become the president of the company or school. Does that guarantee you will become a good leader? Not necessary. Okay, you are very outstanding, good leader. You are even a good president of the United States. Does that guarantee that you have a good marriage? Does that guarantee that you are a good father? Not necessary. Okay. So, but you are always the same you. You just try your best to do your good, to do the good jobs, right? But in different places, people evaluate you in different ways and give you a different scores of your performance and give you a different name and judgments. But you are always the same you. Okay, what's the problem? Okay, that I have my individual karma, you have your individual karma. You like me doesn't mean that she needs to like me as well. And I like you doesn't mean I need to like him. We all have individual karma. So we are always deluded by our individual karma. But in the sutra, it said even in a more broad scope about the individual karma. Here, the sutra goes, now, Buddha said, all that you can see, the mountains, the rivers, the lands, and the various forms of life, are the results of eye disease. We have eye disease that has existed in your visual awareness since time without beginning. Just like, if you have floaters in your eyes, you see things, right? So visual awareness and what it is aware of seems to be the objects that appeared before you. Originally, our awareness is illuminating, but if the object seen is defective, then the visual awareness is also defective. Okay, that's what the sutra says. It's very short in Chinese. Okay. So now, I see the environment. Here, Buddha point out very important idea. I see the mountains and rivers and lands. It's my individual karma. It's my dependent retribution, 依报. Okay, so it's individual karma, not the shared karma yet. Okay, whatever you perceive outside is your individual karma. When the object you perceive is defective, that means your awareness, you are also defective. So when you see this world is pure, that means your mind is pure. when you see this world is defective, that means your mind is also defective. So that's called the direct retribution and the dependent retribution. They are at the same level. When they are defective, they're defective altogether. When they are pure altogether. Okay. But now, Buddha continue. Indeed, the awareness of our ultimate luminous enlightened mind is never defective. Once your true awareness realize that this visual awareness, this eye disease, is defective, then this true awareness is not itself defective. And therefore, it is called the true awareness of the true seeing. Thereafter, there is no need to name it like awareness, hearing awareness, consciousness, or visual awareness, etc. We don't need to name them awareness anymore. Okay, because your true mind does not operate from interact with the object, and so that you have awareness to identify that you are you. Okay. I will show the diagram later. So this is also very important sentence here. Therefore, what you are seeing now, including me and yourself and all 10 classes of beings in this world, are defective. Non-defective visual awareness is the true essence of your visual awareness. When you realize the true nature of the visual awareness is not defective, it is not called seeing anymore. That means this outside world is not defective. That means your visual awareness is not defective. None of them are defective anymore. Okay. So here, like I mentioned, that right now, as ordinary beings in our daily life, we always have the visual awareness. And this visual awareness, if you are deluded and not deluded by the object you perceive, this visual awareness is also is also defective. And when you see the true awareness is when you see that your visual awareness is defective. When you found out that your eyes has disease, that at that time you have the awareness, the true awareness. We have eye disease, we don't know. So we don't know we are sick. We have eye disease. So we see things, floating flowers everywhere, floating material everywhere. We see they are real, So we don't know we are sick. So we think they are real. Once we know, I have disease. This is not true. And when you can see the true reality without a defective object, that's when you can see your true nature. That's what it means here. And how about the shared karma, the distorted awareness based on shared karma? That's when, I say, there is a monitor. And you say, yeah, there is a monitor. You also say there is a monitor. Everybody's here say there is a monitor. Then we all agree there is a monitor. Then that's our shared karma. But if any one of you tell me that, Fashi, there is a ghost stand behind you. And I say, I didn't see it. Did you see it? No. Did you see it? No. Only one see a ghost standing behind me. We all disagree. there is a ghost standing behind me, right? So our sheer karma is there is no a ghost. There is no any ghost standing behind me. Only that person's individual karma tell him that there is a ghost standing behind me. You understand? Okay, so now, see, our sheer karma change also through generation, from different ethnic groups, and also based on our environments. Okay, so back to not long ago, my mother's generation, same-sex marriage, not even same-sex marriage, same-sex relationship is a no-no. You cannot talk about it. It's shameful. You have to hide it, right? But now it's like, okay, you can get married, it's legal, same-sex marriage. See, our sheer karma, more and more people accept it, and more people get same-sex marriage. So people say, no big deal. What else is new, right? So this become our sheer karma. It's the same sheer view. And you see the ethnic group, see the woman here, it's from Africa. They think that at once the woman was born, the baby girl was born, they start to stack the neck ring more and more and more. So their sheer karma to define beautiful woman or beauty is based on how long your neck is. Okay, so you have to stretch, keep stacking up and up until you cannot stretch your neck anymore. The longer you have, the neck you have is the more beautiful you are. It's not in America, right? So this is the ethnic groups that they share karma to see, this way. And how about the environment? See, like back to when I was little, only poor people, because they don't have money to buy meat, right? So they eat vegetables and tofu all the time because they cannot afford meat and fish. Now it's like, go vegan. We have to protect the animal rights. We have to protect our animal environment, because you feed one cow, it will generate so much pollution for this earth. Now environmentalism get high, and then people promote vegan. Not even dairy, no milk, no cheese, no meat. Now Fashi become like fashion. We are vegetarian all the time. Okay, so based on the environment, now people think that being a vegan is good, and you are responsible for this world. And when back to like 100 years ago, you say you are vegan, that means maybe you're poor, something, you cannot eat meat, you don't have meat to eat. Okay, that's the sheer karma. Now, what's the relationship between sheer karma and the individual karma? Here Buddha goes, nevertheless, all the beings with outflow, that's us, and all the lands in the 10 directions, including the Saha, this universe, which with its 4 great seas and with the 3,000 lamplets of Jambu Vipa, okay, basically this Saha world, come into being and cease to be due to the combination of the visual awareness and all the awareness, which are fundamentally the enlightened, wondrous, luminous mind without outflow. So this visual awareness combined with those deluded defective conditions. That's why we cease come into being and cease to be. Okay. When there are a lot of flooding right now because of the big rain. Okay, so because the rain, or because the mountain, the mud, and all that, you see it, I see it, everybody see it, and then it become a disaster, cause people to die, and that view is a shared karma for all of us, but that is a shared karma for the disaster area, the people that receive this mud flooding or mud sliding. Okay, so that's why we when the rain, the mud, the people, and the weather come together, the conditions come together, things happen. Okay, people die, and then when the government tried to rebuild this place, and clean up, build a house, and people moving in, and this area get alive again. Okay, so things come together, and fall apart, come together, fall apart, and we see different phenomena of life and death, or come into being or cease to be. Okay, now, when you remain entirely disengaged with those conditions, whether they are present in combination or not, you terminate all the causes of coming to being and ceasing to be. At that moment, you will awaken to perfect enlightenment, which is your true nature and which neither comes into being nor cease to be. It is the pure original mind, the fundamental everlasting enlightenment. Okay, so here is, we got to know what is combination mean? How can we disengage with this combination of conditions? And then we can see our true everlasting enlightenment. Now, we talked about this before. We diluted things that the four enlightenment as our true body. We diluted things that when the six organs interact with the six objects and generate the six consciousness is our true mind. Okay, that's actually from Yogacara school, that is from the six consciousness and seven consciousness. How this attachment continue? Because we have this individual karma and shared karma. So for all our life, for all the practitioners, our main task is transcend our individual karma and shared karma. If we cannot transcend these two karma, we are trapped by this life and death, and cannot see what's beyond. Okay, so how? That's what Buddha trying to taught us. Once we can transcend, okay, on your left, the sixth consciousness and seventh consciousness, and transform them into a wisdom, then automatically on your right, the eighth consciousness and the first to fifth consciousness transform into the pure wisdom as well. And so on your right is the true suchness and true reality. One is about the nature, and one is about the phenomena. Okay. So now, Buddha said that, Ananda, you wrongly suppose that what causes the enlightened mind to exist is also through combination process. Okay. Indeed, it's not combinable and not uncombinable. Okay, this is very important, because back into Buddha's age, right? There is a Brahmin, there's the Indian religions. They all talk about, they want to unite it with Brahman. And also Christian talk about God, right? united with God, union with God. How do you unite it with Brahman? How do you unite it with God? How you two united? It's not like you go get married, get a certificate, it's you united. No. Can I push your body together, become one? That's called united. Now, it's very important concept that Buddha need to clarify with Ananda, that we have true suchness, we have the true nature, but it's not like I'm the ordinary people, I have a deluded mind, I combined with the true mind or combined with Buddha. No, we have to know it combined, it's not combined, okay? See here, again, we see this diagram. Our true mind in the yellow box. Now we have eye disease, you know, and then we deluded ourselves. Then we operate ourselves with a subjective perceiver and objective object, you know, interaction with these two, and it's called deluded mind. And then our true mind is not dual. They are not operated in the subjective and objective way, okay? So, but the problem is we are deluded mind right now, and Buddha is true mind right now. And Buddha said that even we are deluded, we have true mind, never change there, here. So how deluded mind and true mind exist simultaneously together? Have you think of that? This is very important for high practitioners, because at some point you will get to, if you don't have this right view, you will attach to something you grasp that is not your true mind. You think you combine with your method, you unite it with your method, and then you let go. You think that you get to the no mind. No, very dangerous. Okay, so well, we will talk about a demonic state. The last part of this sutra is all the 6 organs, 6 objects, 6 consciousness, and 7 elements are all the things that we can grasp and unite it with and become a demon. Combine with them and you become demon of yourself. Okay. So overall, the question is, how do the true mind and the deluded mind combine? So the question can divide it into 2 parts. Are the true mind and the deluded mind combinable or not combinable? So in the sutra, combine can further divide it into 2 parts. One is, I translate into soluble and the compatible. Okay, now here, solution, right? If you put water and milk together, they are soluble thoroughly, right? Homogeneously soluble together, and then the clear water become white color, and your condensed milk become less dense, okay? And if you put water and oil together, this is insoluble, right? So there is a borderline that separate water and oil. Now, compatible means, you know, if there's a jigsaw, you perfectly match. That's called compatible. And if you cannot, then the puzzle cannot fit together, then it's incompatible, right? Now let's define these 4 terms, and then we further discuss about, can the deluded mind and the true mind soluble or insoluble, compatible or incompatible? How does this true mind and deluded mind, you know, exist together? Here is a note, and this is try to clarify that when Buddha talk about true mind, when Buddha talk about originally, fundamentally every sentient being has true mind, never gained, never lost, and we are operating without deluded mind right now. But Buddha never meant to say that we should unite it with our true mind. Okay, just like the other religion talk about unite with God or unite with Brahman. It's a different things. Now, if you are interested in this part, you can go to the sutra to look at the detail. But I use the diagram on your right side. And now, then, of course, Ananda would say they should be compatible. You know, that my true mind and my deluded mind, they combine together. And one day I see my deluded mind and I go back to my pure mind. Okay. So Buddha asked, okay, you say it's combinable. Okay. So let's talk about soluble first. Then Buddha's question is, what is the appearance quality of the mixture of your true mind and deluded mind? If they are soluble together, even the water dissolved with salt, you know, the density change. There are some quality, the appearance change. So your pure mind is luminous, right? Everlasting, pervasive, all this true mind. Now you combine your deluded mind, which is darkness and, you know, narrow, you know, you cannot even see, you cannot cross over the wall. You cannot see what's outside the wall because the wall block your view. Our deluded mind is so narrow here right now. So when these two combine together, what will your mind should be? Like in between, halfway or something? No, you still see very narrow here, right? Okay, let's say, okay, it's compatible. You know, like the puzzle, like fit. Okay. If your true mind and deluded mind conjoined together, for example, if you see the light, you conjoin with the light, you know, combine together, it's become part of the totality. And then your mind should be bright. And how can you see darkness? And if once there is something you cannot see, you lost the pervasiveness of the true mind. Then how can you say you still have your true mind? Right? So combinable is not the answer. Then Ananda said, okay, then it's uncombinable. Buddha said, okay, if it's combinable, let's talk about insoluble first. Okay, so that means, you know, remember the water and oil? When they are insoluble, that means your mind has this part is true mind and this part is deluded mind. There is a borderline. Tell me, where is the borderline? And now you are in the deluded mind. That's why you're subjectivity, objectivity, and all that. And then you jump into your pure mind. Is that right? And then tell me where this borderline is. Okay. And if it's incompatible, you know, just you cannot fit in. You cannot fit in the puzzles. Then Buddha said in the sutra, it's like, you know, the two horns of the deer. It have two horns, right? At one point this way and one point that way. And so your minds become very weird. Your mind has two parts. One operate this way, and true mind operate this way, and the deluded mind operate this way. You know, when you have anger from your deluded mind, you get angry, but the other part of your mind is pure and compassionate. It sounds like what we are doing right now, right? Always conflict in our own, always argue in our own mind. Two voices in our mind argue with each other. Should I donate or should I not? Should I go or not go? Now it's like, if it's compatible, that means, okay, when you meditate here, you can observe two mind. A true mind go this way and intuitive mind go this way. And so Buddha said, no, the true mind and deluded mind doesn't go that way. So basically, Buddha vetoed Ananda's proposal. The true mind and the deluded mind is combinable, not, and uncombinable, no. So the true mind and deluded mind is not combinable and not uncombinable. So here, Ananda get very depressed. Okay, so Ananda, Buddha say, you have not yet understood that all the objects we perceive through our organs are deluded appearance. Wherever and whenever they come into being, they perish right away and right there. You see me right now. Actually, the glance you see me, the next glance, I've already changed. The perception, that moment is already gone. But we don't think so. We think they are continuing. That's why we think they are real. And continue. These deluded illusions are called phenomenal appearance. Yet their true nature are in fact the entity of the wondrous illuminated enlightenment. Don't get upset. Even though you don't understand, okay, you cannot directly experience that whatever you are perceived right now, right here, already perished right away, right here. It's okay. But the deluded phenomenal appearance change all the time, but our true nature is there. With the entity of the wondrous illuminated enlightenment, we need to practice. Okay, here, Buddha get to the content, the scope of our practice, okay? The same is true of the 5 aggregates, the 6 organs, the 12 sights, and the 18 realms, etc. They are all, come into being because of causes and conditions, and cease to be because the decomposition of the causes and conditions. So they are deluded. And Buddha continued, you simply have not yet understood that fundamentally everything that arises and perishes, comes and goes, is within the Tathagata, which is the remarkably illuminating, everlasting, unmoving, or pervading, wondrous nature of the true suchness. Okay. If you seek for what comes and goes within the everlasting reality of true suchness, you will get lost from enlightenment and fall into life and death without any accomplishment. So we cannot seek for what comes and go. So we need to know what comes and go, and so that we know what is not comes and goes. Okay, the following, oh wow, I only have 10 minutes left. The following content, Buddha used the so-called syllogism. Okay, syllogism is hard to pronounce. Okay, it's a logical argument. It have a systematic argument that try to get to the truth by denying. Good. I always forgot. Anyway, that can, you by get rid of, you have, by means of serious syllogism, Buddha shows one by one that each of the elements of physical world and each of the elements of our sensory apparatus is fundamentally an illusions. But at the same time, these illusory entities and experiences arise out of what is real. Okay, so in this content, you will see if you go to the sutra, it keep repeating, for all the item, for all the objects, for all the things that Buddha tried to analyze for Ananda. He used this logical, philosophical analysis to tell Ananda that, this is illusion, but it's out of what is real. Okay. Now, first, Buddha say the 5 aggregates, 5 skandhas, are fundamentally the wondrous true nature of Tathagata Garbha. Okay. 5 skandhas. In Buddhism, actually, Buddha used different sets of idea or concept, different sets to include the 2 main things that we exist, for us to exist. One is form, one is mind. So Buddha have to use a system to cover mind and cover form that make us exist. For example, this body is form, and my mind is my mind. Okay, so it's easier to describe form. It's very hard to describe mind. At the same time, but in contrary, it's very hard to overcome the attachment to form. And it's easy to see the change of our mind, the 6th consciousness. If I tell you this cup is an illusion, it's impermanent, do you believe it? Yeah. Like, are you insane? You told me this cup does not exist. But if I tell you I'm angry, you'll say, don't worry, it will go, right? Because you are not angry. I'm angry. And angry is my mental activity, right? And it will come and go. When you fall asleep, you forget about your anger, right? And sometimes you pick up your anger again. It's not, but the cup is always here. And you tell me it's illusion. It's like, just like, there's a ghost. It's easy for us to tell you, to tell that it's illusion, because nobody see it. Only one people see it. But when you talk about cup, everybody see it, and you say it's illusion. It's really hard to take it. Okay. So here, 5 aggregates. Come back to the 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates. Okay. You just see the things on your right. 5 aggregates has form, sensation, perception, volition, and consciousness. And I use Yogacara. I built an iceberg. Okay, I borrow the idea of iceberg. Okay, then the floating above the sea. Okay, is the form. You can see our eyes, ear, your body, and the things, the water we can drink, the smell, the sound. These are all physical worlds. It's called form. Okay, it's above the sea level. We all can see. But underneath the sea level, then it's nobody can see it, right? Like you cannot read my mind. Even I'm smiling here, you don't know I'm angry, right? So it's under the sea, and then it's all kinds of stuff. It's very complicated operation here. It's our mind. Okay, so 5 aggregates has a form. It needs any religions, any philosophical system that they need a theory or a model to describe the form and the mind, or the so-called everlasting entity, even its soul, or its God, Brahman, or consciousness, or the true nature. You have to give an answer or explanation for that. And the 5 aggregate is the most popular and general theory, the concept Buddha tried to explain form and the mind. Okay. Now, in this part, Buddha tried to explain. Let's talk about the form. Okay, this is a picture that try to mimic the people who got floaters. Do you have it? I have some. So you see floating around. So Buddha say, why you have, we are all like a, disease. We have diseased eyes. So when you press your eyes hard until you get tired, you see rain, light rain, you see all kinds of things. That's the analogies that Buddha gave, told us that our eye actually has problem. So that's why we see this, and that. Why we cannot see ghosts. Why we cannot see heavenly beings. Why we cannot see God, angels. Why we cannot see everything. We only can see human, animals, and mountains and rivers. We only can see limited things. And I cannot see, just like the previous talk, I frame you. I frame myself too. I frame myself to show me. And I frame you to identify you. Actually, my view of you is totally wrong. I defined you by your clothes, by your skin color, by your hairs, by your name, by your whatever. That's what's you in my mind. That's not you. So I have a frame to frame you and give you an entity as you. And I do the same way to myself. That's, you have disease, I disease. Okay. So Buddha say, basically that's what it happened. And now how about the sensation? The analogy is like, if you are sitting, meditated there, in a very deep state, quiet, stilled, and nothing bother you, and it seems like you are entering into nirvana. Now happen, and suddenly you raise your hand, start to rub your hands. And you start to feel your hands, because when you enter into that state, you lost the sensation of your body. It's so wonderful. And it just suddenly, you raise your hand and start to rub it. And now it's this sensation, this scratching. And this is basically what happened to your sensation. That's what sensation come from. You have to get in touch, right? And I have to see you to know that you exist, to know that you come. I don't know who is downstairs, right? I have to get in contact. This contact even through visual, or somebody scream downstairs, I hear it, that's ear contact, and I know someone is downstairs, right? I got to have the contact through my 6 organs in order to know I exist and you exist. That's what it is, sensation. How about perception? Things exist. Then I continue. Oh, not again. Why he come today? He always make noise. Don't come. Even though he did not make any noise yet so far, but my mind still like, prepare. This is analogy. Buddha say that when I say plum, when you see this, is your mouth watering? Because we all eat plums, sour plum before, right? We know it's how it feels. So I don't need to even give you plums. And I show you a picture, or I just say the name of plum, lemons, and you just mouth watering. That's called perception. It's just like, I don't like that person. That person always come and make noise. Now, when she come, he didn't make any noise at all. But my mind already like, don't make noise, don't make noise. I prepare. I've already set my mind in the mode that seems like that woman is making the noise. That's called perception. Basically, all our perception, our like, dislike, or neutral, like boring, or absent-minded, or indifferences. All this actually that perception in your mind. And how about volition? And Buddha give an analogy about a waterfall. Our thought, our minds, it's just continue changing, wave by wave, the water by water, continue, never stop. And yet, every water is different because that water is go away already. When you see a spot here, water continue to go, and whenever, and any time you see that spot, the water is different. You're sitting here, your mind is always changing, and you don't know. You think my mind, I don't change my mind. But you change your mind. Your thought is never your previous thought. But you think your previous thought is, and your current thought is the same thought. So that's why you think that your thought continue. And this continuity make you feel that this deluded thought is your mind. Because it keep existing. So even though my mind has up and down, but my mind's there, it's never change, it never stop. Okay, but that's the volition Buddha talk about. How about consciousness? Buddha give an analogy that, see, okay, there is a tube. There is a glass tube with both ends open. Now, you put it in the air and you define a two stopper. Stop this two ends. Now you seems like you get some air here. Okay. Or space. Air has a lot of things in there. Okay, oxygen, moistures, and all that. How about this is in the vacuum, in the space, empty space? Okay, vacuum. You use this tube, stop these two ends, and you carry this tube from this room to next building. And then you think that you have this spatial. When you go to the next room, you think that, sorry, this space is from next door. It's different from this here. That's the deluded point. You enclose your deluded mind in the tube, and you carry on here and there, and you think that's you, and that is different from the rest of the space. And we also carry this from our previous life to the current life to next life. And we think that this, we call it consciousness. Deluded consciousness is you. Is my true mind or my soul. See, this is mine. I seal it. Nobody can touch it. It's different. Buddha says, sorry, please open the cape. Open it up. You'll find that the space and the outer space are the same. And this space does not come from next room. It does not enter from this room. It's always empty space, and it's always the same everywhere with all the space. You never move. You never move, but you carry the tube move. You never move. Okay, that's the end. The Buddha analysis. I try to help us understand all our illusions. Let go. Let go of this disease, defective part, and we will see our true nature. So this is the conclusions. For form, this disorder displayed of flowers does not come into being from the space, nor does it come into being from person's eyes. So the floater does not come from the space sky, because you don't see it. Does not exist in the space. And it's also is not in my eyes. If you use the microscope, you cannot find those things in my eyes. Okay, so, and how about sensation? These illusory sensations do not merge from space, nor do it emerge from the palms of the person's hand. When I scratch my hands, the touching is not from space, neither from the palms. Likewise, the perception, the palms make you mouth watering. It does not caused by the actual palms, because I only show you the picture. I only say the name. I didn't give you the real palms to taste it, but you mouth watering, right? And also it does not caused by one's mouth, because when I'm not talking about palms, you are okay. So, and so does volition. Buddha talk about a waterfall, neither from space, not from water. It's not identical to the water because it changes all the time already. And it's not separate from the water. Otherwise, the waterfall does not exist. A waterfall is called waterfall because there is a flowing water there. And about the consciousness, the space is not in the tube, the space in the tube does not come from the place where the person began his journey, and nor is it transported to the country he traveled to. Okay, so the space is the same all the time and never change all the time, never move all the time. Okay, and summary is, in this way, you should know that the aggregates of form, sensation, perception, volition, and consciousness are all illusions. It does not come into being from causes and conditions, nor does it come into being on its own. Okay. Upon hearing, are you enlightened? Not me, right? Okay, don't worry. This is the guideline for samatha practice, okay? Remember this in the first part of samatha. When we talk about samadhi, and Buddha will describe how to practice with this 6 organs, 6 objects, 6 consciousness, and 7 elements. So overall, but we need to have this right view. When we still try to steal our mind and try to practice samatha, that we will sooner or later will encounter this kind of mind decisions that you have to let go, and let go. You have to realize it and let go. If you don't realize it, you attach to it, you abide it with it without knowing it. That's when you don't know you have eye disease. When you can aware of your eye disease, you're aware of this attachment or this phenomena, then that's the time you can let go of it. Okay. So when you don't know you have eye disease, you just take it for granted and you just abide, just bear with it all the time, right? When you realize you have eye disease, that's when the time you try to cure it. Then you know the diseased eye. That is the time you know that there is an eye that is perfect. Okay. The same thing when we do meditation. There are all kinds of attachment. We don't know that there is attachment. We think this is not attachment. We will naturally abide with it and bear with it. And then our practice will stuck there for a long, long time. Only when we realize that this is the erroneous view, this is a phenomena that attached to, that's the time you can let go of it. That's silent illumination. Okay. You let go of it, then you can move on. So this analysis from the Buddha is the right view for all the practitioners to have, because sooner or later you will encounter it. Definitely you will encounter it, and then you have to realize it, see it, illuminate it, and let it go. The next one is called six faculties. Actually, six faculties, so obvious, right? And this is a very difficult and very important practice to realize that six faculties are fundamentally the wondrous true nature of Tathagata. Okay, let's come to here again. Okay, just above the sea level, there are six organs. And how can we see them as illusions? So difficult. Okay, Buddha says that just like a person who stares into space to a point, his eyes become strained. Yet, both eye faculty and entire eyes are the same as body. It is the strain causes the distortion of imperception. Because of the two illusory factors of light and darkness, the seeing perceptions occurs by taking either aspects. This is what we call the nature of seeing. Apart from these two factors of light and darkness, seeing indeed has no real entity. So for ordinary people, for our eyes to see things is like, there's, for example, light and darkness, total darkness. So usually we see something, right? We see light and we see darkness, and we will see that this is my seeing, and but the Buddha saying that what we so call the nature of seeing is actually not. It's not what is real, and we have the so-called real seeing. Is you don't need light and you don't need dark. And that's the real seeing. But right now, Buddha trying to destroy the idea of our seeing. We think that real seeing right now, the nature of seeing right now with this eyes, with this eye strain-eyed is illusion. There is no real entity, because just because your eye is tired, you get delusion, you go to the desert, there is a mirage, something that does not exist. Okay, it's not. This kind of seeing is not a real seeing. Okay, once you can realize that it's a mirage, that is not the real seeing, then at least you can detach it. I think there is a movie called The Beautiful Mind. You've seen The Beautiful Mind, the Princeton professor that get a mental disease, that always see a young man bring a little daughter around. You see that movie? The Beautiful Mind. That's very interesting movie. So he always tried to escape and try to tell people there is a father and daughter around, and try to talk to him and all that. All the movie. He is a very famous mathematics professor. And how did he get cured? Not through the medicine. It's one day he looked at the mirror. He looked at the mirror and he saw his aged face with wrinkle and white hair. Suddenly, he finally directly experienced that this father and daughter are fake, are illusion, because they did not get old. That they follow him for 20 years. And one day he looked at the mirror. I'm an old man right now, but they didn't get old. Then he become normal. Then he should still walk in the campus. They still come. And then he knows delusion. And he never tried to escape or try to reject or, talk to them anymore. That's what it is. Buddha tried to tell us. You have to know that this is illusion. Then even though illusion is still there, you can behave normally. Okay. So, I use only the first as an example, and I will not explain the rest 5 organs. So the seeing does not come from light or darkness. So the syllogism goes like this. The seeing does not come from light or darkness. Otherwise, darkness would disappear when seeing light. When you see light, darkness will disappear, right? And the darkness disappear. How can you see darkness? So, and vice versa, the same logic, okay? And next, neither from the eye faculty. Otherwise, light and darkness must not get involved, right? Because those things come from directly from your eye faculty. Why you need light to see it? No need, because it's from your eye. Or no from the space. Otherwise, it would also, if your vision awareness is from the space, Buddha says that, then your visual awareness should look backward and see you. See your eyes, the physical eyes, right? You're seeing awareness is here. So they should be able to see your eyes, to see your face, right? Your own face. But this is not the case. So if space were doing seeing by itself, well, why would seeing have to do with you? Right? So this is the syllogism, the Buddha did in the sutras. This is not, if this is this, it should be this, this is it, this is this, and so this is not, this is not, this is not. Okay. And so the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, Buddha say, because you have eye strength, darkness, light, you have visual awareness. Ear, you have vibration and silence. Nose, you have cleared and blocked it. Tongue, you have sweetness, bitterness, and no taste. And body strength, you have contact and separation, or pleasant and unpleasant. And the mind is tired and stressed, sleep and waking. Okay, that's you're tired and stressed, then you have sleep, you sleep enough, you wake up. And then when you see things, things arise. And then when the object disappear, the perishing. That's basically our cognitive awareness. So to see it, to believe it, right? And what's in your sight, in your mind, something, when I see it, I remember you. When I don't see it, I don't remember you. Something like that. There is a saying I forgot. Okay. These all come from the true suchnesses. Okay, I probably do not have time to finish, but there's a thing, there's a conclusion here. Talk about, all these 6 faculties does not come from all this. And so they are all illusions. And one thing is summaries. They are all illusion, and they don't come into being from causes and condition. They don't come into and cease to be, come into being on its own. Okay, now the problem is I have 6 organs. I have 6 faculties. You have 6 faculty, right? The problem comes from we have different 6 faculty. We operate our 6 faculty in different way. So when we see these 2 person, I heard that they want to participate the election again next year. I don't know. So the things argument will come again. But anyway, the Democrat and Republican, okay, we all have our own 6 organs, right? When we see them, when we hear them, when we have a memory of them, it's just a chaos. They always debate in the family, in the workplace, among the friends. So then we would get very noisy during the election season. So Buddha said that, okay, and our master say, and it's a very important practice. For if you cannot control your mind upon using your 6 organs to interact with the environment, first, close your 6 organs. That's what we did in our retreat. Close your 6 organs. So if you don't like argument, don't go to the bar, don't interact with people who like to argue with you, who is a better president, who is a better party. You just close the door and be quiet. And then after you close your door, 6 organs, and you practice deeply, and then you start to observe things are, illusory, or you can generate compassion for all the people. And basically, you have unconditioned compassion and unconditioned wisdom. Then you open your 6 organs. At that point, you can embrace all the things, all the sounds, all the ideas. Embrace all the phenomena you perceive through your 6 organs. And then further, get to the point we call purification of the 6 organs. At that time, you operate your 6 organs without a sense of self. Without a sense of self, you can operate your 6 organs in a pure way that you unconditionally, equally embrace everything you interact with. That's a very important practice. In Chinese, it's called 六根清净. Okay, it's very important practice in Lotus Sutra as well. So if you can do that, you can ignore the rest of the chapter. But unfortunately, to say is one thing, to do is another. Then Buddha need to continue. 12 sites are fundamentally the wondrous true nature of Tathagata, because we still interact with the object. Now, for the 6 organs, if we can practice to see that all these 6 organs are illusions, so no matter what we interact with these 6 organs, we are like that professor. We know, but we won't bother by them. Okay, we know they are illusion. But now, if we cannot really get it, we still, attached, we cannot see the illusion of the 6 organs. So we still interact with the objects, and then we will automatically think that the object are real. I hear the sound. I see you. I see the cup. How can you tell me it's not real? Okay. So here, talk about the 12 sides are trying to mainly destroy the attachment to the 6 objects. I think I can go very quickly. Okay, so when I see a visible object, ears to sound, nose to odors, tongue to flavors, body to tangible objects, mind to mental objects, all this, Buddha say that, sorry, does not come from the object. This kind of interaction does not come from your organ, does not come from the object. So when I see the cup, the seeing does not come from my eye, does not come from this cup, does not come from this space. Okay. Again, if you are interested in this analysis, you can go to the sutra. Okay. The summary, all this faculty, the pair of faculty, visual object, etc., to mental faculty, to mental objects, have no real existence and are illusions. And they does not come into being from causes and conditions, nor does it come into being on its own. Okay, so the same summary for all the sets. Now, what's our practice? We have to purify our 6 organs, no color anymore. Okay, now when you see this, and when you see this, they are the same. That's called direct contemplation. When we are in a retreat, we do direct contemplation. That's always the guideline is don't give it a name, don't give it a symbols, don't give a judgment, don't give it any language, naming. Everything. Stop your knowledge and wording and all the symbols system. That's called direct contemplation. And clean your 6 organs, see things as is. And stop the next thought to make judgment, to make discrimination. And that's, if you can do that, and you can see everything's are illusions and everything are pure as is. That's when you can let go of the 6 object, attachment to the 6 objects. Okay. But unfortunately, it's not easy. Okay, because we still stick to our mind. Okay, I can let go the cup, but I cannot let go the concept. The mind is the most difficult one. I can, smell good and bad. Okay, taste good and bad. I can let go. But he's that person. This right and wrong, bad and good. What is right and what is wrong always drag us to do a lot of harmful things to the humankind and to the animal and to this world. Right? All because of the concept. Religions do a lot of war because they fight for the religion. This is so ironic. Religion is supposed to promote peace, right? Happiness, the benefit of humankind. But if we insist the reality or truth that any religion has different definition about the truth and reality, right? If you use that as attachment, we can see the history, a lot of big war between religions. This is so shameful. But anyway, next time I will talk about the 18 things. But now, why the first part and second parts are so difficult to overcome? The 6 organ and 6 object are very difficult to overcome because it seems so real, and it mainly deal with our shared karma. It's the most difficult thing. So Buddha said that why we cannot let go of our 6 organ and 6 objects? Because this individual karma and shared karma, the distorted awareness based on individual karma and the distorted awareness based on shared karma. This control us and tied us so we cannot let go. We cannot see the illusion of the 6 organ and 6 objects. Okay, I have to stop here. I know all you have questions. Yes. 1 question. Next time I will save some more time for you to, before that, I answer a question from last time about the anger, how to handle the anger. Is the anger come from causes and conditions? That definitely. Actually, if I talk to the next topic about the 18 Brahms, you will know that where is your anger come from and why it's illusion. And simple explanation is that anger is a wave in your mind. That is the wave that from your mind wind that only exists in your mind. It's your individual karma. And definitely it's illusion. It does not last. It has no real entity. You can let go of it, no problem. Okay. And on top of that, the things or the people you're angry at are also illusion in your mind. You did not see real them or not real things. It's your own opinions. You get angry at yourself, actually. Question 1. 1 question.
I have many. I don't know which one to choose.
Next time, I will save more time.
So we have the 5 aggregates, and they seem to all work interdependently. You know, they all necessitate of each other, right? They cannot but act together. Is there a point in which they all healthily operate and not sickly? Or is it only when the mind is pure that they act you know, they all operate together healthily, in a healthy way? I believe I am healthy. Yes. Therefore, it should work everything perfectly. I see everything as it is, as such. But I have a impure mind, or not yet pure.
Yes, yes.
So therefore, no matter how healthy my instrument is, my attributes are, I don't see suchness. Right? Is this is what?
Well, that's the same thing. You know, when our Sifu asks us to repent, and then most people will think, why should I repent? Why should I repent? You know, I'm a good person. I don't do bad thing. You know, I only follow the law, and I don't steal. I don't kill. I don't, you know, say bad words. I'm nice to my parents. I'm nice to my spouse and kids, and do my job wholeheartedly. You know, why should I repent? That's the basically same question. So here, very important things is actually we need to contemplate, and we need to meditate. And if you don't have this so-called cross vexations, you know, killing and stealing are very cross, very obvious. But if you go deeply, if you don't have the cross vexations, you have the right condition to practice deeper. When your mind, you go deeper, you will find that your mind is actually quite busy. You know, for example, if you still have wandering thought from your memory, actually you have no control. And even it's for a second, that second you think that memory from your 6th consciousness is real. It's very subtle. You can overcome the form, the sensation, and maybe the perception, But how about avoidation? You can't even see your avoidation. How can you overcome it? You have to go deeper. And once we go deeper, sometimes you meditate, some strange thoughts come up. Why does it come up? It has a reason, but you don't have to follow them. But just know that your mind is not pure. Okay, so we can talk about it for the next talk, because we are talking about mainly Buddha trying to help us destroy the attachment to the consciousness, six consciousness. Then we can talk more about different levels of consciousness. By the way, I forgot to mention, once we get to the state of purification of the six organs are interchangeable. You don't use your eyes to see only. You can use your ear to see, use the mouth to see. Interchangeable, 六根互用. And it's also very important topic in the following chapters. Okay.
It's a yes or no question.
Okay.
You can say yes or no, quick. So the 5 aggregates, right, do not originate from causes and conditions. Neither do they originate on their own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we say that, are they causes and conditions themselves? Can we say that? Yes or no?
If you mean that the 5 aggregates
are causes and conditions
operated according to causes and conditions, that's yes.